Good, beautiful morning. It's Wednesday, June the 8th, 2022. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. I want to welcome you to the Wednesday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. I have with me a very interesting group of beings by the name of they call themselves the Adamics. And they want to talk about this thing called the Tree of Life, because there's a lot of mystical talk about it. There's lots of variations of other people's interpretation of this. And they simply wanted to offer some clarification as to what the tree of life is. One of the things they told me is that it is not something that is seen with the eyes or heard with the ears, but it is seen and it is heard. You would define it more in terms of what you call the word consciousness. The word consciousness has no definition. It has implications in terms of whether or not you believe you can apprehend objects of an objective reality, but that is a very limited and narrow definition for what consciousness is. You must understand that consciousness is the substance of the invisible that is visible, that moves through all life, time, space, and existence, both known and unknown to you. That flow of energy, that which becomes flesh, but is not flesh, consciousness. It is everywhere, in everything. All that you can see or know or not see is all consciousness. You are upon its branches, each of you like a leaf. Every living thing like a leaf upon its branches. Every stone, mountain, star upon the branches of this great, eternal, life-giving tree, consciousness, the definable undefined. And while you might perceive that your mind can comprehend what consciousness is, in the very nature of your attempt to comprehend what consciousness is, do you move into separation from it. To know the tree of life is to be the tree of life. To actually experience the endless interconnections that exist as it is. Your physical brain is a small example of what we speak in terms of how your brain articulates information, what you call your synapses, and the means of connectivity between different thoughts and ideas that function through your brain in such a mathematical scale that you can't comprehend it, like the stars in the sky and all that interconnects them. And you look upon it with wonder, but your brain is a very small example of what you look up at when you see the stars at night. It is there. You sit in awe. You cannot count nor define how many points of light there are in existence, that sitting suspended in the darkness of the sky, just like the thoughts in your mind suspended in the flesh of your brain. Combinations and permutations that are uncountable. This tree of life, it gives all, and it gives all more. It cannot be defined, but it can be known without definition. And while this might sound confusing to some of you, for those of you that understand what we say, there is great peace for you, even excitement. For you understand how the tree grows, how it changes, and you grow with it, you change with it. You will find peace upon its boughs you will find roots that go deeper beyond perception, branches that reach higher than you can reach. No matter how far you climb upon this tree, you will never reach the top. And no matter how deep beneath the ground you sink to find the end of its roots, you shall not find the end of its roots. It is the immortal, it is the definable, undefined. If you understand this, then the mere comprehension of it, while it may also give you a great delight in comprehension, it will also give you somewhat a degree of yearning, for in your attempts to explain it and understand it, you will find separateness. But the attempts to explain it and understand it also lead you to eventually know it. Many of you stumble upon it and you go, aha. So many of you have that moment, aha. And you stumbled upon it. And your aha is undefinable, but it is good, is it not? And so you wonder then, how do I stay in that place of wonder? It is possible to do this. There are a small number of beings throughout the creation that live in this, that allow this, that express this, that receive this and know this, that wherever they are, whatever they do, they are not separate, but they, by nature of perception, to a degree, remain so. But curiosity has no limits. If you found great joy in something, are you not curious about what else you might find in that joy? So you seek to understand this tree of life. And in the separateness of your thoughts and in the confusion of your emotions, it will be very difficult to know the truth of this. If you are able and willing to set aside your thoughts, if you are able and willing, and all of you are in truth, to set aside your emotions, to simply allow yourself to be swept up by the gentle, endless movement, by feeling and sensing the endless connections between the point of your being and all other things, the point of your being and all other things, to feel, to be, to resist the temptation to know, to simply be in this. We cannot describe to you what it's going to be, because that would simply limit you to our description of that. And while we are simply here to illuminate the simple understanding that consciousness is the tree of life, it exists wherever there is action, whether it be the movement of molecular substances. Always consciousness is directing the activities of all these things. Even your pursuit to know what you do not know, you are directed by consciousness. You are always directed by consciousness. And what then if you become the consciousness? What then if you become the consciousness? What would you direct? What would you know that you know not? You see, the pursuit of wanting to know the truth of all life cannot be discovered in separateness from it. But in separateness from it, you can know you have the pursuit of the unity that you seek to understand from your separateness. You can be free either as consciousness, and you can also be free as an individual. The leaf upon the branch is still part of the tree. The life of the tree moves through the leaves, through the branches. It moves out through the seeds that fall off the tree upon the ground to grow new things, but the life that flows through the tree, that flows through the branches, that flows through the leaves, that flows through the seeds, this consciousness is the same. Although the form may appear different, the consciousness is the same. And so when you look out upon this world that you are in right now, and you consider all of these differences you see with the world of your senses, underneath all of that landscape of perception, there is a consciousness, a life that flows equally through all things. That the perception of these things may, in fact, give you cause for distraction or disturbance or excitement. The things that you see and hear are but the surface, the branches, the leaves, but they are not the life. But the life is within them. Can you not look up at a tree and see that the branch at the top and the branch at the bottom, the same life feeds them both? Can you not look upon your world and see one man or another, one child or another, and realize the same life flows through them as flows through the other? And what would this do if you knew this? If you knew that the same life that flows through thee and thee and thee, if you knew that it was the same, how would you look upon others? How would you look upon others that you say are different? How would you look upon them? Do you see one leaf or another leaf in a tree as different? How often do you look up at a tree? Do you say that leaf is good and that leaf is bad? That leaf is big and that leaf is small. Do you do this to trees? Why would you do this to each other? The tree of life moves through all things. Consciousness moves through all things, even the sounds and the smells that you perceive, and you think that is a pretty smell, that is a pretty sight, but underneath is the same life, the same consciousness moving through all things. And while your science has the distinction of being able to understand the individual nature and function of objects, of time, of space to varying degrees, underneath it all is still the same life. It cannot be found in things, although it is in all things. And this is where the confusion lies. You try to find it in the things, but you cannot find it in the things. If it is already within you, where would you be best to look then? If it is already within you, where would you be best to look? Consider this. Look within. If you found this life within you, if you found consciousness within you, if you found that source that animates your body, that animates your thoughts, that reflects itself back at you from the environment through your senses, what if you went to that? What if you experienced that? If you could look within, what would that be? Are you daring enough to step away from your conceptions of separateness to consider what holds it all together? Because if you look out on the world, you cannot figure out what holds it all together, because everything seems separate and different, but there's something that holds it all together. The stars in your skies, the earth beneath your feet. There is something that keeps it all together and takes it all asunder. it brings it together and it takes it apart. You come into that body and you call yourself alive and you say, I'm alive, and the body ceases to function. And those that are still alive say, they are dead. But no, something has changed, something that is not perceptible is hidden, but it is still there. The life is still there. You just do not see it with your eyes, nor hear it with your ears, and your definitions of what it is are bound by your perceptions of this world. But what if you surrender those and consider, what is that makes all these bodies work? What is that makes the bird fly? What is that takes this soil and makes it a tree? What is that does these things? And if you know this, then what fear would you have? If you know this, then that which gives life, that which changes life, that which alters whatever you see and hear and touch and smell. What if you knew that? You've heard many of your mystics say, go within, close your eyes, close your ears, go within and know that place, that consciousness. And there are some that say there is a wonderful divinity that expresses through each individual that we see. There's a wonderful divinity that's apparent to our senses. We can see it. I can see the uniqueness of this one and that thing and that creature and that creature. There is a uniqueness to all things that makes everything different. It makes everything appear different, but it is still of the same consciousness. And you are looking for peace of mind and struggle to find it because you are not looking for peace of mind. You're trying to organize a mind that is in your way. But to step away from the leaves, to not simply see a leaf upon a branch, but to see a branch, to step away from the branch and see the trunk of the tree, to step away from the trunk of the tree to go to the ground, to go into the ground where the roots are, to go into the soil where the materials that the tree draws into its roots, to go into the soil. And then what? And then what? What is there? What is there when all things pass away? If it seems somewhat confusing and difficult to comprehend, is only because your mind has been conditioned to believe that the world that you see is a world of separateness, that there is not some unified consciousness moving through it all around you dynamically, that there is right in front of you that consciousness speaking to you, dancing before you, writing, playing music, coming down as sunlight, appearing as grass upon the ground. It is all around you. It is all within you. And you may choose, if you are astute enough, to consider seeing that it is everywhere, to see that life is everywhere, in the molecule, in the ant, in the space between the planets. There is life. That you cannot see it with your eyes or hear it with your ears is not the truth of whether or not it exists. For is there not space between you and the others, physically space? And that space, although it seems to define you as separate from another, yet it also holds you together. You breathe the same space. And you think that the same relationship does not exist between planets or stars or galaxies. if you're willing to pursue it, you might not find it. If you're willing to consider the possibility that you are it, you might not find it. How then can you know this? How then can you know this life? How can you know? There is a place between thought and comprehension. There is a place between one idea and another. If you go to that place where there seems to be nothing, if you go to that place between your thought, if you go to that space between objects and consider something that you do not know, because if you know your thoughts, but what is between your thoughts you do not know, then what will you know if you pursue that which you do not know? Consider this. Consider that space between your thoughts, the space between bodies, the moments between seconds. Consider. There is a moment of knowing where there is absolute clarity and freedom. There is no thinking required when you know. And we're not talking about the knowing of comprehension. We're talking about the knowing of being. Very different actions come forth from that place of being, then can come forth from the place of thinking. This does not mean that thinking is not valuable and useful. It simply means that it allows you to experience one state of consciousness. But when there is no thinking, there is another state of consciousness that thinking does not allow you to know. And in that place of consciousness that moves through all that is, there is a state. And again, to use the word is to, again, create further separation. But there's a place, a knowing that you will come to, that you cannot come to through the process of analysis. It must come through the process of being. And if you go into that space between your thoughts, the space between objects, there is what you do not know that you can know when you are experiencing it. Rest in that place for a while. Get familiar with that place. Get familiar with what you do not know. Get familiar with what you do not know. And you will know something that you do not. And we cannot tell you what you will know, only that you will know something, but you will know it. And it will give definition to what you know differently than what you know gives definition to what you do not know. And only through the experience can you understand the truth. You cannot understand experience through analysis, although you can formulate a mental structure and concept of it, but experience is different than analysis of experience. You will find freedom. When you find it in one place, you will find it in all places. In what you do not know, you are balanced with what you do know. One defines the other. Your knowing defines the unknown, as the unknown will define your knowing very differently than your knowing defines the unknown. The unknown defines the known very differently than the known defines the unknown. And if you have heard these words and have taken them to your practice, whatever that may be, to gain an understanding of what you do not know by not knowing, your world will change. What you will think will be changed. What you will do will change from what you know to what you do not know. And that place of consciousness is unknown to most, defined by many, but known by very few, by the very nature of the definition of it. And even in this communication, there are definite restrictions and limitations that can be brought into play if you get caught in trying to figure out the meaning rather than going into the experience of the unknown. But the simplest formula we can offer you is to consider what is in the space between your thoughts. What is in the space between objects? What is there? Before you perceive or judge another, what is in the space before the judgment, but the space between yourself and that which you observe? What is there? Because you are together in that observation, in that judgment. You are together with the other in that. But what if you are not in judgment, but you are in the awareness that somehow there's a space between you that joins you both, much like the various branches on the tree, while they appear separate, are joined together, whether they are aware of each other or not. In that light, we wonder, but what would you be, and what would you think, and what would you know if you looked upon the other and realized that they're not separate? And if they looked upon you and realized they're not separate, what you would think, what you will be, and what you will do will be different than what your judgment allows you to. The human collective species is going through a remarkable transition in creation, watching a flower come to bloom that you have never seen before. And you have many of such things in your physical world, where some flowers can bloom in a day, and some in a year, and some may not bloom for hundreds of years. But each comes to its blossom, and you may not understand it until you see it. But judge not. You will find your peace in that place. Wow. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So it's interesting. Hello, Janine. Hello, Animal. Hello, Ruth. Wow, thank you very much. Wonderful. Wow, wonderful. Hi, a question from Elena. Can I please have insight or guidance on what happened with me this morning? Thank you so much. The word I'm hearing to give you is to release. I don't know if that's in relationship to, but they're saying to give you that word, to release, to release, to release. Wow. Thank you, Elena. A question from Adam. Can you please tell me who was that beautiful spirit woman that I briefly saw in my mind's eye a few hours ago this morning? Why exactly was she there? And what exactly does she want me to know? is there something about it, the between, I'm just gonna, this is where it's coming, between the great roots, between the great roots, I don't know what this means, but between the great roots, there I am. Between the great roots, there I am. Yeah, the angels are with the trees for this one. The angels are with the trees for this one. Who was that though? They're saying that the revelation of who I am and my relationship with you shall be found in the contemplation in this place. And she's meaning the place between the great roots. These are like great roots of a tree that you sit between. Yeah, cool. Thank you, Adam. Great question. Please let us know what happens if you find that place or you get into that space. Please let us know. Question from Tanya. I'm reading Conversation with God. It says, we are here to remember who we are. It's not a school. Is the book really a conversation with God? I'm learning so much from this book. I don't know who this is, but they're coming in and they're laughing and they're saying, every moment is a conversation with God. You must understand that. But you get to define the nature and quality of that conversation. The one that you are having is extremely pleasant. But every communication is a conversation with the divine. Wow, thank you. Question from Vertical. Yesterday nights, before falling asleep, I got a vision of the body part I am currently working on to heal. The image changed from one state to another. Is healing underway? Well, absolutely. To what degree and extent is that? Treat that which suffers as if it is love. Treat that which suffers as if it is love. Wow, that's cool. I don't know who this was that said that to you, but they stand behind you. I'm really I feel a Raphael kind of energy, but it's more feminine than Raphael's is normally. But treat that which suffers as love. Wow, cool. Thank you, Vertical. Janine is asking, are there any messages for me? I don't. All I'm seeing is something about a swivel chair, just gently spinning, sitting in a swivel chair, and gently turning. What does that mean? Gently turning. Look around. Look around you. Look carefully around you. See what delights you. Yes, but this is like a very meticulous, slow looking around. Look around at what delights you. Who are you? They're saying we are your guardian angels. We are three. We are three. One to the left, one to the right, and one looking into your eye. You can call us the Trinity for you. When you speak that word, you shall feel our presence. One to the left, one to the right, and one in front, looking in your eye. Yes. Cool. Thank you. Great question. Hi, Sashay. How are you doing? Sashay is asking, do I have any message for her? I'm getting a strong female presence, and this is like Victorian era female presence. She's like 1890s is the feeling I'm getting. Something about the line is straight. The line is straight. I don't know what this means, but her hair is very dark, like really dark and done up big, and there's a white collared gown. It's like a dark navy blue dress that hangs down, very wide bottom on it. But she's very she's like pointing. The line is straight. And what is your name? The name I'm getting from her is Amelia. That she's saying very clearly, the line is straight. Again, what does that mean? Why that? I don't know what that means. It's just, she's just saying, no, the line is straight. Like she's pointing a finger, the line is straight. And it's not, it's like just, it's a matter of fact. It's not like poking at you. It's like a matter of fact, the line is straight. And I'm getting that to mean that whatever you're doing, that you need to keep going straight ahead. Don't deviate from whatever it is. But yeah, the line is straight. She's really strong female. She's but she's right behind you. The line is straight. Cool. Thank you for that. Got time for one more question. Why won't the female spirit reveal herself to me, who she is and why she doesn't? She's laughing. She's saying she will reveal herself to you. Go to the place. You know this place. Yeah, she's saying you can be a bit insolent at times, but that's forgivable. It's more your stubborn curiosity than a problem. But no, literally between the giant roots, go wherever that is. There's a tree. You got to sit between these big roots, and it will be revealed to you. Cool. She's laughing. It's so funny. Insolent. Never heard that before. Well, guys, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for your support. I want to remind everybody the winner for this month's reading was Faradiba Stefanis. And Faradiba, you'll be receiving the notification for how to book the free reading with me this month. And I'll look forward to getting together with you then. I want to thank all my patrons for the meeting last night. It was very, very different. Very different energy happening last night. I didn't have any of my guides or angels with me. They just said, here, you go ahead and do this. It was very different energy. I'll have that meeting up there at some point in time today. I want to wish you all much love. Thank you for supporting this channel. If you're new to the channel, please remember to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, share this information with other people. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys on Friday, where we're going to be discussing the gift you can give to the future, and it's going to be with Kuan Yin, and she's calling it Be Here Now. There's a lot of this coming up now where they're saying here and now, be here now. Now, even Master Jesus repeats that over and over. The kingdom of God is here and now. And the Adamics keep saying it's important to understand that what is described is not what is described. You must go into the experience to know. I want to thank the Adamics for coming through today, and the other beings that came through for us as well. Much love to all you guys. Remember to share this video, subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all. If you want to know more about the courses and classes that we teach on mediumship, go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and you'll get to know all of what's going on in these next few months. Have yourselves a great day, guys. Bye for now.